Our second recipient is being honored for laboring to protect our most vulnerable members in society. Their mission is to meet the physical, emotional, educational, and spiritual needs of abused, neglected, and at-risk children. Please, if you will.
Yvonne and I met on the Ozzie and Harriet show. We became friends from that show. We were chosen to go on a goodwill type tour through the United States for our armed forces to entertain the troops. And we went to Korea, Okinawa, and Japan. And when we were in Japan, we ran across 11 little children huddled together. We found out that they were half American, half Japanese. And America said they're not ours, and Japan said they're not ours, so they were children literally without a country. So that began a little orphanage that we started while there with 11 children, and the servicemen helped us put it together. And we thought, well, we'll just take care of those 11 children, we'll send money back to the United States, and we will do unto others as they would have us do unto you. In case that was one of our children, that's what we would do. Well, little did we know that that was ending up to be our mission, because we ended up having 100 children in our care because people found out we would take half American children and left them on the doorstep and up the block and down the street. And we raised enough money to build 4 different orphanages for the half American, half Japanese child.
Little did the ladies know, but the U.S. government had been watching them. In the early 1970s, they came to Sara and Yvonne with a very special request.
They wanted to get us to go into Vietnam to do the same thing. We both said, yes, we'd love to, in unison. And we ended up building 5 orphanages, a hospital for orphans, and a school for orphans in Vietnam.
In 1975, the fall of Saigon was imminent. Word reached Sara and Yvonne that thousands of orphans from South Vietnam were in harm's way. And so they created Operation Baby Lift, where children were rescued to the U.S., and soon over 2,000 children were welcomed into the arms of new adoptive parents. After observing their good works, Nancy Reagan asked Sara and Yvonne to lend their talents to combat what she called America's darkest and best-kept secret, child abuse. Spurred on by a new Senate subcommittee study that showed that abuse was the leading cause of death in young children, the ladies vowed to protect our little ones. Over the years, they helped to create legislation to protect children and open treatment and residential centers nationwide. They also implemented the first national toll-free hotline 1-800-4A-CHILD. They continued with educational programs, foster care programs, but perhaps most importantly, child advocacy centers.
Before we had an advocacy center, child victims of crime had to go to multiple organizations, and often it took several months. And they had to keep reliving their trauma because they had to tell their stories over and over again to multiple partners involved in the investigation. But now here we are co-located together under this one roof. We call it a multidisciplinary team. That team is comprised of the Phoenix Police Department. They have a special unit called the Crimes Against Children's Unit. We have the Phoenix Children's Hospital here on site. We have Childhelp. We have the Arizona Department of Child Safety. And we also have the attorneys from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and the Office of the Attorney Generals that we work with. And we are able to be much more collaborative in the way that we work. And most of the children that come here only have to tell their story just once.
We're significantly reducing the time that it takes for a child from when they've disclosed to when they can start advancing towards therapy and healing services. And we're doing that in a one-stop shop operation where we're bringing all of the partners together as a single unified team. That's amazing.
Over the years, Sara O'Meara and Yvonne Feddersen would receive not only the admiration of their peers, but honorary university doctorates, countless awards and accolades, and impressively 9 Nobel Peace Prize nominations. The path that Sara and Yvonne started over 60 years ago has led to Childhelp becoming the largest nonprofit organization in the world that is dedicated to helping at-risk children and victims of child abuse and neglect. What began as a simple act of kindness has transformed into an organization that has changed the lives of over 12 million children.
James Casey, a Golden Rule Banquet Committee member, is joining Albert and me to present the award. Ladies and gentlemen, let me celebrate tonight's Humanitarian Golden Rule honoree, Childhelp, represented by the founders, Sara O'Mara and Yvonne Feddersen. I always get a little choked up every time I'm in the presence of those two ladies, because not only are they as remarkable as you saw with the humanitarian work they do, they are two of the funniest women I have ever known in my life.